Okay, good evening. I'm really kind of late doing this video. I was meaning to do it earlier today and it just seemed like everything kept happening and so I didn't get it done. So, getting it done, and we will learn about the pituitary gland today. So we're talking about the endocrine system this week, and yesterday we kind of did an overview, a generalized overview of everything, and today we're going to be talking about the pituitary gland and the thyroid because they go together. The pituitary gland feeds into the thyroid. So I'm going to read y'all just a little thing. It will make better sense than me trying to say it because I will probably leave something out. So I'm going to read this really quick. Talking about the thyroid first. The thyroid controls how quickly the body burns energy, how quickly it makes proteins, and how sensitive the body should be to other hormones. The thyroid regulates the level of many of the body's hormones, including adrenals and sex hormones, and is critical to the regulation of metabolism and growth in the body. Some now believe that poor thyroid function may be to blame for fibromyalgia, which is caused by calcium crystals forming in muscle tissue. Doing a good body cleanse and supporting the thyroid gland might assist in reducing the pain levels of this condition. Iodine is essential for the production of thyroid hormones. Without it, the thyroid gland can enlarge, causing goiters. However, fluorine and chlorine, which is in drinking water, compete with iodine for binding sites on the thyroid hormones. Many people drink purified water to reduce their intake of these chemicals. So, the thyroid is an area that can have a lot of different effects. Sometimes if you, many of you may know that you have thyroid issues, you take medicine for those kind of things. And some of the causes, some of the issues that you may be having, if you're not sure, if you've never had thyroid or didn't know that you had thyroid problems or anything like that, some of the things that you might want to look at and think about. Now, if you have not watched yesterday's video, go back and watch it because we talk about a little circle. There's a little circle on there, and it is our opposites. All of our organs have opposites, and my little person is over there trying to fall asleep in the bed, so you probably see her rolling around. So our little opposite circle thing here has all of our organs, and each organ has an opposite. So for our thyroid, the pituitary gland, and the adrenals are all part of our triple warmer. That's the one that the three of those are together because they kind of they work together all the time. So then they're opposite to the spleen. So that means at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., the triple warmer, your pituitary, adrenals, and thyroid are all awake, functioning at that time, are working, and your spleen is sleeping. So that means that your spleen could be getting its rest, beginning to do its repairs and stuff for the evening. Well, in the morning, from 9 to 11 in the morning, that's when your spleen will be awake and your triple warmer will be asleep. So when you have any of these issues that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, then that may be a good indication that you've got something going on. Pay attention to your time of day that you're feeling an issue of some kind. If you're feeling like you're sluggish, you're having difficulty losing weight, or you're gaining weight, you have a much larger appetite, you're sleepy, you flush really easily, your eyes may be bulging out a little bit, you're sensitive to cold, you're going to get sleepy in the middle of the day. You may pay attention to what time you're getting sleepy. You may wake up. Yeah, you get tired too. But pay attention, like if you're getting sleepy between 9 and which, I mean, by 9 o'clock, you're going to be tired anyway at night. I mean, like, it's time to go to bed. So that's not necessarily a good indication. But, like, in the mornings, you shouldn't be tired in the morning between 9 and 11. You should be up, ready to go, because it hadn't been that long since you've been up. But because those organs, you have your spleen that's working in the morning, and then your triple warmer at night that's working. So think about the times that you're feeling tired, feeling sluggish, mentally sluggish. You may have some disorders in your sleep, like your sleep patterns may just be kind of all over the place. You may be easily fatigued. You may have a very low libido. All of that's indications. I mean, like, your hormones control all of those things. And just like we were talking about the triple warmer, that has your thyroid and your pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland works with those sexual hormones. So we have to take all of those things into consideration as well. So you want to really be paying attention to how you're feeling. Inward trembling. I had never really done this before until one day. I can't remember what it was, but I had that feeling, and because I always wondered what that meant. But it's a weird feeling, but it's like inside your body, and it's not outside your body. If you've never done it, then it's kind of hard to know what that is, but that's what it is. So think about your thyroid in terms of really, if it's not healthy, then your pituitary gland's probably not healthy, and your adrenals are probably very clogged. Now, one of the things that it was talking about was doing a cleanse. If you go back in our videos, a couple of videos down from last week, and we talked about the liver cleanse, that's a good place to start. You need to clean out the liver first, and then do a gut cleanse and kind of work your way through and get your body cleaned out and get everything being able to function the way it needs to. Because there's so many things, especially when it comes to our hormones, that when we are overtaxed, our bodies are overtaxed with chemicals. There are so many chemicals that are out there now that every day we're using so many different types of things. And especially stay-at-home moms are really at risk for having a lot more of these issues because of the chemicals that are in everything. So we have to really pay attention to everything that we're putting on our body, in our body, on our children, and allowing them to be able to use in everything. I mean, whether we're eating or whatever, we have to pay attention to those things, because it does make a big difference in how our body feels. Because if our body is not healthy, then, we're just putting more chemicals in there. Every time we take a medicine, we're taking more chemicals, and we're putting more medicine into our body. That's not helping us either. So we've got to, at some point, we've got to stop overtaxing our body. So being able to do a good, solid cleanse. Now, toward Friday, we are going to bring all of this back together, and I'm going to give y'all some major tips on how to really begin to make a difference in each one of these areas, what kind of cleanses to do, and how to do it without having to use more chemicals. You don't want to add more stress to your body. So do it in a very natural, easy way for your body to be able to react and do the things that it needs to do to get cleaned out. So next, let's talk about the pituitary gland. Oh, I thought I had it right here, and I must have, when I turned to that other page, I must have lost it. Okay, so now the pituitary gland. I'm going to read this little thing because it's easier. The pituitary gland rests in a small, bony, box-like structure called the sella turica, and is covered by a fold in the dura or meninges of the brain. The sella turica is situated in the sphenoid bone and is right behind the eyes. The hypothalamus secretes factors into the pituitary gland, which in turn secretes hormones directed to the thyroid and other glands in the body. The pituitary hormones help control some of the following body processes: growth, blood pressure, some aspects of pregnancy and childbirth, including stimulation of the uterine contractions during childbirth, breast milk production, sex organ functions in both men and women, thyroid gland functions, the conversion of food into energy, which is your metabolism, and water and osmolarity. I can't say that very well. Regulation in the body. So here is a picture of our pituitary gland inside this little piece inside of our brain, or our head right there. And then that's those, that's what it looks like up inside there. So what does this do? If we know that we are having some issues within our pituitary gland, which is still going to go along with our thyroid and our adrenals, all of this is coming together into one. So if you are over 6'6" and at a mature height, then you may have a condition with your pituitary gland because it's an overgrowth, like growing a lot. Or if you're under 4'10", so you're too small. I mean, not too small. I wouldn't say too small. Sorry, didn't mean it like that. But like you're short or you're way tall, like you're to the far extremes, then there may be a problem with your pituitary gland if you're not the regular height what you should be. Early sexual development before age 10. So that was me. I developed very quickly, and sin, I never really thought about that till I was grown, until I learned this, that I was probably having some issues with my pituitary gland and didn't even know it. Or if you're delayed after the age of 13 and before you get your sexual development starts changing, increased or decreased libido, splitting type headaches all the time, headaches behind the eyes, memory failing, impotence, infertility, decrease in breast size in females, and a decrease in size in testes in men, abnormal thirst, menstrual disorders, and a lack of menstruation in women. So that are all the things that can cause, or that can be problems for the pituitary gland. So through learning about these two particular areas and realizing that when your adrenals are overtaxed too, you're going to feel sluggish, you're going to be tired, your brain is not going to be able to function the way it needs to. So be very cognitive about thinking through your day about what your body feels like all throughout the day. Begin to take notes every time you're anywhere, and just kind of be aware of how you feel. You know, if your head starts hurting, write on a piece of paper, keep a little notepad with you all the time, and just write down headache at whatever time, and just kind of take note of what time those kind of things are happening. I felt tired. Kind of give a little basic idea of what it is that was going on at that time. That way you can kind of assess what time of day that these different things are happening, so that you will be able to know better of what's going on. So do this over the next few days. If you think that you've got some pituitary, adrenal, or thyroid issues going on, if you've got, or the triple warmer as it's called, or even spleen, because the spleen, you can still have one of those two things going on, even though the spleen is not what we're talking about today, but we can have those things going on anyway, even though that's not what we're talking about right now. But you can still have some of these things, these same things. It may be a spleen issue as much as it is one of these other issues. So be aware, write all these things down throughout the next couple of days, and then Friday I'm going to tell y'all how you can, some very, very simple things that you can do to really help with your endocrine system, and especially with these particular areas that can really boost up your libido, help you. I mean, like if you want to be shorter, you're 6'6" and you want to be shorter, I can't help that. Or if you want to be taller than 4'10", I can't really help that. That's probably where you are. But if there are some things within your reach, like being tired and not menstruating and having a low libido, we can work with those things. There's some things that you can do to help your body to be able to function that way and do the things it's supposed to, because some of the things that we're doing, the things that we're eating, and the things that we're around are really affecting our lives a lot. So be ready for Friday, and we will talk about some things that we can do to really help make these things better and get everything functioning the way it's supposed to. So I hope y'all have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.